Good morning, Fellowship of the Clouds. Oh, I slept pretty good last night. I was sleeping hard this morning. Didn't want to get up, but I didn't even up moving around doing a few things before this evening, or before David comes and gets me around 2 o'clock or whenever it is. I got to be down at the doctor's office by about 3. Probably get there a little early. So today will be the day. I guess after the visit, I'll do a quick. I'll see how I feel when I get home, but I should be able to. I bet I feel all right. I'll probably feel loopy from understanding they give you a big old pill or something, and then they put a little gas to you. So, and they'll probably give me something for pain for a few days. Nothing major, but like for at least a week or something until I'm Now that's if the procedure happens. Like I said yesterday, we'll see what happens. We'll see. I'll see when I get there. That's what I was told to just do. That's how I'm supposed to approach it, and that's how I'm approaching it. It's neither good or bad. I mean, it's like my mind's been already known in the past. I was already expecting to have it done a few weeks ago, and it's just not gotten done. And so at this point, I'm just kind of like exactly what I was told. Like, hey, just wait, see what happens on that given day. And because the day I'm in now wasn't the day that I was thinking about this last week or whenever it was, So I was not in the moment in that moment. Now I am. This is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, number 68. Be willing to learn from friends and family. It's a really good one. I mean, I say that all the time usually. One of the saddest observations I've made. One of the saddest observations I've made centers around how reluctant many of us are to learn from the people closest to us. Our parents, spouses, children, and friends. Rather than being open to learning, we close ourselves off out of embarrassment, fear, stubbornness, or pride. It's almost as if we say to ourselves, I have already learned all that I can or want to learn from this person. There's nothing else I can or need to learn. It's sad because often the people closest to us know us the best. They are sometimes able to see ways in which we are acting in a self-defeating manner and can offer very simple solutions. If we are too proud or stubborn to learn, we lose out on some wonderful, simple ways to improve our lives. I've tried to remain open to the suggestions of my friends and family. In fact, I've gone so far as to ask certain members of my family and a few of my friends, what are some of my blind spots? Not only does this make the person you are asking feel wanted and special, but you end up getting some terrific advice. It's such a simple shortcut for growth, yet almost no one uses it. All it takes is a little courage and humility and the ability to let go of your ego. This is especially true if you're in the habit of ignoring suggestions, taking them as criticism, or tuning out certain members of your family. Imagine how shocked they will be when you ask them sincerely for their advice. Pick something that you feel that person whom you're asking is qualified to answer. For example, I often ask my father for advice on business. Even if he happens to give me a bit of a lecture, it's well worth it. The advice he gives usually prevents me from having to learn something the hard way. Oh, I'll speak for myself. I can't say all of us I'm going to say from my own experience, I can say that, there's been plenty of times in my life, especially when I was younger, where somebody was simply trying to give me some advice that was beneficial, but maybe I wasn't seeing it in the moment. You know, like either getting an attitude because they're trying to tell me to do something a different way or show me a different way. And a lot of times this is how it was. Like I remember my friend Carl on his the 10 acres he had, and when he'd give me assignments to do out there on the property, you know, I got common sense. I usually figure it out. You tell me what to do, I do. But he'd come in sometimes and want to show me like how he did it, and sometimes, I mean, I appreciate when people were showing me that, but like sometimes he was so insistent on he wanted it done his way, and I always thought I appreciate that part of like showing me your way or whatever. But if I'm doing the said task and it's getting done, uh, you know. But then now I was younger, and so sometimes that may be the case. Like, hey, I've figured out how to do it, and I'm getting it done just as quick. It's nobody's getting held up. It's getting done. But then sometimes you get somebody to offer you advice, and it might be as simple as, yeah, you were getting it done, but maybe you were doing it a little awkwardly to where you weren't realizing, like me, maybe I was doing something a certain way and causing more damage to my body in the long run, not realizing it, just kind of. But you know, a lot of times on a real job, like you find out that kind of stuff. You'll see. But I've also learned, like like at factories and stuff, you'll be taught a certain way, the way you're supposed to be doing it. But like a lot of times, based on, for me, I would learn to adapt, like because I can use both hands. So like sometimes you learn the basics, you learn the basic idea of how to do the job, and then there's sometimes people that have been there longer can show you shortcuts, make it even quicker. You know, like or not unsafe shortcuts, but just they've learned a technique that makes it move even quicker, and you get your production and everything. So we're give and take in all this, but yeah, I'd say. It comes with experience, but not everybody. I mean, I've known plenty of people that have lived most of their life and never, and are still that way. They're still standoffish from wanting to hear anybody's advice or take on anything, and they think they like. If you get to think, if I get to the point where I think I know everything, or that I don't need any help from anybody, or advice, especially people that are close to me. A lot of times they're actually just seeing it they're seeing it from the outside in, and they're able to offer some kind of perspective to me. I like to know my blind spots if I can. If I'm not seeing a blind spot and I've got one, and someone's around me that, you know, I trust, and they trust that it's okay to tell me this, I want that. I want, you know, people to that's how you keep something in check. Like if you're starting a group or a circle, I've said this before, like an organization or anything like that, when it starts involving more people, you got to have some kind of scenario where it's okay to approach people and tell them that they might be able to handling something a little different off, especially if it's affecting the whole dichotomy of what it is you're doing. Like, for instance, if you're in a band and you got, say, 4 members, 3 members, 5 members, however many people are in the band, you should be able to have open dialogue on, especially if someone's going in a direction that's not good for the whole course of the project, you know. I'd say that's the way it is on most jobs. You look at, like, it's cool to be like even something with a 12-step program like AA. It's done in a very lax way, but it does have structure, you know, and there is a certain way that's laid out to do it, and you do it it's got the basics, and then things kind of like, you know, based on the individual, like different people will have different aspects and ways to go about it, but there's still a structure to it. You can't just be like all doing whatever you want at any given time and not listening to nobody. I know for myself that, and I'm speaking from my own experience. So it's kind of like with me and the spirit here lately. Like I'm paying a little more attention. I'm trying to anyway. I'm trying to safely or closely follow along with what I'm being shown or told, and try to adhere to it as much as I can. So, like I've said already, that's why there's been fewer videos as of late. But now, depending on what happens this afternoon, I'm going with the attitude that I'll probably be down for a few days. Like I said, at least I'm gonna have to be putting something down there and redressing it, just kind of taking it easy for a few days for the first few days, and then. But I got that boot, so that'll come in handy if I have to get out and move around. Anyway, um, this is old gray cloud here. Sage of the eternal moment. Over and out. Ditto.